I'm Jack Nichols and welcome to
He's going to break his next world title.
These two go.
He's going to do it. His first victory.
The World Championship is done. What a race it's been.
Oh. Willkommen, bienvenue, welcome to round 3 of the Formula SimRacing Academy Championship. You join myself, Ross Mcintyre, Jess Ball alongside me as we head to Germany and to the Hockenheim ring for the first time since 2019 and for the first time in Germany since 2021 as well. It's set to be a great race, of course. Round 3 was open to public vote. There was a choice of 3 tracks for the drivers and teams to choose from, and we settled on this magnificent circuit nestled in the heart of Germany. And that's why on the calendar it does say public vote, but rest assured we are in Hockenheim. So that will be today's racing. Not, of course, not just for the Academy race, for the races later this afternoon and evening as well. Of course, we have the Pro Championship and then the World Championship to look forward to as well. But we're kicking off the day, as we always do, with the Academy Series. Here we can see the championship table. Danov Brantham leads the way for Valet eSports after some consistent results over the first 2 rounds. Giuseppe Sarchino, after an amazing opening race at Bahrain, didn't quite come together for him last time out. And Peter Knapp came in for Go Team to slide in for the win. But Hockenheim, it's always a tricky circuit. Lots of different setup options that you can go for, different setup philosophies, and tyre strategy will play a part as well, as it always does. We are thinking we're looking at a 1-stop or a 2-stop race, should I say. It's where do we go on that 2-stop? As I said, if you're just joining us, my name is Ross Mcintyre, and alongside me is Jess Ball. Jess, it's a pleasure to have you along here in the commentary box with us. And as we're heading out for qualifying, we're seeing some competitive times already being set very early in the session. We've got 5 minutes left to go, and the race winner last time out, Peter Knapp, currently sitting on top of the table, 5/10 clear of everyone else. He is really laying down the gauntlet early on.
Yep, he is. A 1:14.261 is his current pole position time, and he pretty much spent the rest of the race last time out. It was at Melbourne, holding off the Polish driver to take his 2nd Academy victory, which was really great to see. Will he make it a 3rd here tonight as well? But the big story we came off from last week, the championship leader back in Australia, Sarchino, he was one of the first drivers to crash out turn 12. He was running in 3rd place, which meant Lucas Tylen took his first podium, and obviously Dan, with his consistency, even though he didn't take the win, takes a points lead going into this race. And I'm glad the drivers and the public have voted for this track, because it's one of my favourite tracks to commentate on, and I'm really glad I've been brought in for this as well. But Peter Knapp looking very good already in the first set. He struggled a little bit going in the middle set today.
He did indeed. We'll have to wait to see what they come and do as he heads through the classic stadium section. Don't want to hook that sausage curb as you round the final corner. And coming to the line now, what's it going to be? Will it be an improvement? It does not look like it will be, and he's jumped straight into the pit lane. So it won't be an improvement that time for Knapp. But what can Van der Hudding do as he's making his way round? Looks like actually he's on a warm-up lap, so never mind, ignore everything that I've just said. Of course, if this is your first FSR race, you're a bit confused what's going on in this qualifying session. It is, of course, a private qualifying, which means that in the rFactor 2 simulator that we use, well, all the cars are out there doing qualifying at the same time. It's almost like you're in a private test session for the drivers. You can't see anybody, you can't interact with any of the other cars, even though they're all out there doing laps. It just means that you don't benefit from slipstream or get held up by traffic. It's just about what you and yourself can do out there to really prove who is deserving of that pole position. That's one of the many wonders of sim racing. We can get away with it in the virtual world. You can't quite do that in real life, unfortunately. But it just makes it a bit more exciting, and it shows who potentially is going to have the pace. And at the moment, well, it's looking like the Go Team guys are going to be looking very, very pacey indeed. Nap and Sarchino, your two race winners from Australia and Bahrain, respectively, currently sitting 1 and 2. Nap just a little bit faster at the moment, 3/10 above as we're on board with Mcintyre as he comes around the final corner. Again, don't want to take too much curb in there, and it runs a bit wide on the exit. That is a good thing to know. Actually, we have actually increased the track limits penalties here at Hockenheim, because the track limits, they're a bit harsh. So you can now get 6 off tracks before you get a drive to, instead of your standard 3. So that should just be a little bit nicer for all of the drivers. On board with Krzysztof Luchak now as he comes through the final corner. Green in the first sector, yellow in the middle though. What's going to be as he comes to the line? Does he improve? Not quite. It's a 1:14.7, all running inside the 1:14s. Very, very quick around here are these Academy cars. Of course, this is the third tier of the Formula Sim Racing Championship ladder, but they are still very, very fast indeed. Just to put it into context, the lap record round here and Hockenheim was a 1:13.7. So we are not very, and that's you know, in real life, so not very far off the actual lap record here in the Academy cars. Just under 2 minutes left to go in this session. Can anybody challenge the Go Team drivers? Mcintyre is the closest at the moment in P3. Still half a second off of our race 2 winner, Nap, though. And following round, Marsa goes up a place into P9. Here is Nap, who's gone green in the first sector. Looking to come to the stadium section now. We'll see. It's another green split as he heads into the stadium section. Full commitment through the right-hander there at Mobile 1. And now Sax curve as well. Looking very, very handy. A little bit of oversteer on the exit of the corner. But that thing just looks so planted as he now comes through the final corner at Sud curve. What's it going to be? 2 green sectors, comes to the line. Peter Nap goes even faster, a 1:14.181. That's another 10th quicker and another 10th ahead of Sarchino as well. A yellow final sector. I think that kick of oversteer out of the Sax curve may have just hurt him. Here is the DRS zone of the circuit coming through the parabolica. Of course, you can take that flat out with the DRS open in a modern Formula 1 car, as we are aboard Mcintyre. Very aggressive on the turn in there. Expect to see some chaos down into the hairpin. Of course, a very, very tight corner. Lots of heavy braking. We see it all the time. Accidents at East happen. You miss your braking zone. You run slightly wide and you're unsighted to a driver maybe coming up on your outside. It's very easily done to have contact through there as we continue to follow Mcintyre around. Sarchino with the purple first sector now. He could be on a monster lap as Mcintyre runs very, very wide, heading through the Mobile 1 curve. But he's going to be able to keep going in a lap, but he has pulled off the racing line. He is done with 10 seconds left this qualifying session. He is not going to be able to continue. Following round now with Giuseppe Sarchino for Go Team, your race 1 winner in Bahrain. Of course, crashed out very early on in race 2 in Australia. What can he do as he comes down to the line? We'll have to wait and see. A winner of the DNF will be looking to get back onto the top step of the podium here in the way to do that as with pole. It's another good middle sector. Green through there, 35.454 is the split at the line, looking very tidy through the Sax curve as well. The Go Team cars just look so planted here this weekend as he comes through the final corner. The Sud curve comes to the line. Can Sarchino cause an upset as Micah goes second? Sarchino goes within a 10th of his teammate, but he can only do second. Nap is in the pits. He's not going to be improving. Can Luchak pull something out of the bag later on? What about Riboli as well? He's down in P14. We know he can do a lot better than that. He's on a monster lap at the moment. 2 green sectors. What can the Valley eSports driver do as he comes around the Sud curve, gets very slidey, very wobbly on the back of the car, but coming to the line, Riboli can only manage P12, unfortunately for him. What about Cedric Bill as he comes through the Sud curve? Coming to the line now. It's a very, very short dash up to that start-finish line. He goes P13. Again, a little bit of an improvement, but not enough. That looks like it's going to be it for our qualifying session. The crowd loving the action here, but it will be Nap on pole with a great lap of 1:14.181. Giuseppe Sarchino just missing out in P2. Less than a 10th separating them. very, very close in sim racing terms. Matters Moika in P3 as well. The Hyperion Esports, the first of the challenges outside of our Go Team lot, with Luchak in P4, Cantoneri P5, Van den Hudding in 6th, Borisovsky 7th, Lucas Stylen in 8th, Sander van Leuven in P9, and Chris Gitzel rounds out our top 10 for Valet Esports. A great qualifying session there, Jess. The Go Team guys up the front, though, you're looking at Nap, Sarchino, and Luchak. They are looking ferociously fast heading into the race.
They bound to have a car which has quite a bit of downforce for some parts of the track, but you're going to need the low downforce towards the straight into the Parabolicus. It's how you compromise that, and definitely the top 3 definitely managed that so far, and the top 12 separated by less than a second, which just goes to show that anyone could do potentially well here today as well. And one thing I think what the drivers will find difficult is the curves coming up into towards the second sector. After you pass turn 6, you're going to be passing Mercedes at ridiculous speed, and then you're going to be passing the corner where we saw Sebastian Vettel almost losing it as well near turn 11 and 12 into Satch curve. And obviously turn 1, that's going to be, I think, a action zone for the drivers in the race, because it's hardly a braking zone, just slight lift, and then the first braking zone you're going to reach is heading towards turn 2. So that is something to keep an eye on as well. And with the different tyre choices, literally we could see a mixed up tyre strategy, but I could see most people starting potentially on the medium compounder tyres for this afternoon's race.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what the strategy is going to do as we see the rest of the grid, of course, on the formation. That will get a run through of the grid as well. But that is set then for the race in the FSR Academy Championship here. Round 3 of the season at Hockenheim. Hello and welcome if you are just joining us. Hope you've all had a wonderful Easter Sunday if you are celebrating Easter. And we hope that you are looking forward to a wonderful day of racing as well. There is the championship standings, of course. Peter Knapp missed race 1, won race 2. Now in round 3, looking to continue that with a very strong pole position. But Go Team teammate Giuseppe Sarachino, we know what he can do in the race, and lining up alongside his teammate as well. And again, lap 1 at Hockenheim typically tends to breed some chaos, so we'll wait and see what's going to happen there. Again, it's still early in the season, so drivers not necessarily maybe totally focused on the championship just yet. You're still trying to figure out where you're fighting for in the championship standings at this moment, where your competition is. After round 3, though, here at Hockenheim, especially, you'd be thinking heading forward after round 4 as well. That's kind of where you want to be, where you're kind of seeing who's going to be the championship challengers. Of course, the next round, of course, heading to Singapore, another chaotic race. That'll be Marina Bay always loves to cause calamity for some of the top drivers. Yeah, that's our championship standing so far this season. Again, still very, very early on. We're just waiting for the warm-up session to come to a close, and then, of course, we'll be looking forward to going racing here. Track temperature not looking too high, 10 degrees ambient with 28 degrees. The track temperature, of course, in Celsius, and sunny skies all around. No rain scheduled to come in today, so it'll be all slick running. And like, of course, you cast your mind, you know, we've had it before in Germany where, you know, one moment it's sunny, the next moment it's downpour. Not looking like it's not going to be that today. Greg Luchak is currently topping the warm-up session, but again, warm-ups, a lot of drivers like to sit in the pits, a lot of drivers like to make sure that everything is just running okay, and make sure that the car's working fine, all the tyre pressures are correct, your sim rig's working okay. So we'll have to wait and see how it's all going to unfold when we get racing in a few short moments. Again, this is the first time we've been to Hockenheim and FSR since all the way back in 2019. So it's been a long, long time. And, well, the Academy guys, they definitely weren't an Academy. They're not an Academy nowadays, shall I say, those who were racing at Academy back in 2019. It's dope as we wait to get going once again. And it'll be interesting to see how it's all going to unfold. The warm-up session has just come to an end. Checkered flag is now out, and it'll be a few moments, and then we're set to go racing. Of course, Jess, we're looking at a two-stop here today. We're expecting a bit of a chaotic first lap as well, but who have you got your eye on coming into this race? I mean, we've already talked about the Go Team guys. They're looking very, very fast, though. You know, the likes of Peter Knapp, Giuseppe Sarachino. Is there anyone maybe that you think could be a bit of a dark horse coming into this one?
Well, I have to say, Micah, who's currently P6 in the championship, he had a really good result last time out in Australia, avoided the chaos, did not do well in the first round in Bahrain, and he's the one that can definitely get the turn to turn one, because the slipstream could be absolutely huge, because you're not going to get the slipstream in qualifying, we are going to get the slipstream in the race. So that is one of the drivers I'm going to keep my eye on today as well. Obviously, Sarchino, he's got to redeem himself as well. He's won a race in round one, but he DNF'd last time out. But I think we could see a different race winner here today. But if we see a repeat winner, I think it's got to be Peter.
We'll have to wait and see. Can Peter Knapp make it 2 on the bounce? Can Sarchino bounce back from his accident in Melbourne, or will it be someone else on the top step of the podium become the checkered flag? We are moments away from round 3 of the 2024 FSR Academy Championship, and the tension is certainly rising. And we simply don't know what's going to unfold until the 5 red lights go out. 47 laps of racing to look forward to here today in Hockenheim. And of course, it's not the only racing we've got here in FSR, as well as they get going on a full motion lap. We've got the Pro Championship and the World Championship later on. It's Knapp and Sarchino on the front row, a Go Team lockout. Matois Micah in P3 and Greshek Gludchak, he's in P4. The Go Team guys looking very fast here today. Canzonieri is P5 alongside Van der Hudding, Boratovsky and Lucas Stylin making up the 4th row of the grid. A great result there for Boratovsky for the Roll Fit car. The top 10 rounding out by Sander van Leuven and Chris Gitsov for Valet eSports there, followed by Nandor Marsa and Massimiliano Riboli. We know what he can do in the race going forward. He should be one to watch out for. Further down the grid, we've got Cedric Bill in P13, with Thomas Andrea Hamurasoa in P14. Lucas Viscott is 15th, and alongside him for Gothenburg GP, it is Persius Miram. 17th is Hayden Cownan, alongside Arko Holostella, with Terry Crawford in P19, Mihailo Vicentijevic rounding out the top 20. Another Roll Fit driver there. Now we're looking to move forward in the race. Leonard Eichen Flaxon is in P21, with Magnus Ockenhaugen 22nd. Mikael De La Cruz is 23rd, and the Zanini Panini Davide, he's P24. Rounding out our grid today, it is Thomas Luthi for Dragon at SimSport. 25 drivers on the grid today. Turn 1 though, Jess, that's where it's make or break time. It's a very, very tricky medium speed and a 60-degree radius corner, and then obviously you've got the first real heavy braking zone down into turn 2. Of course, you've got down through the Parabolica where our DRS zone is, and of course DRS back down to a 0.7 seconds activation today as well, and then the big braking down into hairpin. It's a tricky lap as it is. On lap 1 you've got 25 cars all piling in there. I think it's going to be difficult for them.
I think it's going to be difficult, especially for people on the hard tyres, because we've got the likes of Borzowski, who needs to warm his tyres up very quickly. Same with Sander as well, Cedric Bill starting on the hards too. But we have got the top 6 on the medium, so getting those tyres up to temperature is going to be a lot easier for them, and a run towards turn 1 is going to be, I think, more bearable for them as well. But you've got to manage it regardless of what tyres you go on, really, as you're going to probably be going on both of the tyres throughout the race. But it will be interesting to see if the mediums are very good at the start with the amount of fuel they got on board. But we're about to get going with the racing.
We are indeed a 2-stop race heading ahead of our strategy. All up in the air. Lap 1 about to get underway in Hockenheim as we wait for the red lights. We will be underway, which we are now. It is a great start from Micah in P3. Gets a great launch away from the line, but it will be Peter Knapp holding the way. Micah shoved out wide by Sarchino. Super aggressive there. Heading down through turn 1. Looks all clean now. Braking down into turn 2. Now again, very heavy braking into there. Bit of a wobble. I believe that was Ruben van der Hudding who got a bit sideways, but Peter Knapp has already pulled the pin and is trying to break away as we head through the Parabolica. This is where our 1 DRS zone is today. But of course not activated on lap 1. Micah to the inside, down into the hairpin. On the inside, a Sarchino. Great move by the Hyperion eSports driver to get up into 2nd place. Again, further back in the background, it's slow, but it is clean away from everyone, it would appear. Chris Gitsov up into P9. Great start from the Bulgarian there, as he has a little bit of a look into the first stadium section down in the Mercedes arena. And now as we head back up, coming into the old portion of the racetrack again. This has been here since yesteryear, quite frankly. Of course, the track changed in 2002, no longer a big dive into the forest, but this stadium section has been here since the dawn of time, quite frankly, in Hockenheim terms. There, though, is Sarchino looking to get back up into P2 as we conclude the opening lap of racing, and it's led by none other than Peter Knapp, who's already got a second to the good. Oh, very wide there by Sarchino, caught out by the dirty air. That's going to hurt his momentum on the run down into turn 2. Another back as well, Greg Luchak still holding on to P3 from Van der Hudding, who's doing, or P4 should I say, he's doing a great job there. Boratovsky moving up into P13, or trying to move up into P13 against one of the Go Team guys, but can't quite make it stick. He's got teammate Viscott behind as well, and teammate Viscott is going to get the run as well, coming into the DRS zone. DRS is now activated, and they will be flying past surely. Coming down into the hairpin once again. Look, it's been surprisingly clean so far, it must be said. We were all...
You said it now.
Yeah, well, I've said it now, of course, touching wood, no commentator's curse, but we were all expecting doom and gloom on the opening lap. But so far, every single competitor still in this race, doesn't look like there's been any spins either. But Peter Knapp, Jess, he is really trying to get away early on.
He really is, and we'll look at the start to see what has happened and how Peter Knapp got such a great start, because he's about almost 2 seconds clear of everybody else. But the replay we're seeing actually is from P25, and he was the one who just lost it. It's surprised he didn't get any damage, but he just waited until everyone else, I think, got away before he rejoined, which is very, very safe as well. And a bit of a shame for him not to have a good start there as well. But Micah, I did say he would get a good restart, and he did. Andrea had an awful spin there. A lot of people seem to catch their eye through there, to have a bit of a spin or have a bit of a miscontrol of their car, but they managed to get control back very, very quickly and not get much damage, which is great to see. And it is darkened a little bit, and I spoke too soon. It's a bit of damage from one of the cars, and it was almost an unsafe rejoin. So we said it was a clean start, Ross. It's now been chaos.
It is not indeed, and it couldn't have happened to anybody worse. Giuseppe Sarchino from third with no front wing after touching the Micah with a late dive bomb down into the head. It was all clean. Then we saw the replays, and now it is disaster for round 1 winner Giuseppe Sarchino. He tumbles down the order. He will make it back to the pit lane. It does look like he just lost his front wing as he's trying desperately not to hold anybody up. Again, this season in FSR, we have changed the damage parameters. It is a lot more easy to damage your virtual race car in 2024 than it has been in any FSR season prior. And Sarchino once again falling foul of that. The Go Team driver will duck into the pits on lap 4 of 47. And now surely he'll be going onto the hard tyres, trying to go long and see what he can do as he tumbles down the order. Big shame for one of the early favourites in this race. Of course, round 1 winner, we know what Sarchino can do on the racetrack, but that is a real shame for him. He'll be coming out surely down the order, if not in last place, then certainly towards last place. And that promotes, though, Van der Hudding and Luchak up into 3rd and 4th. Van der Hudding does have a little bit of a look down into the hairpin. He did think about it. Oh, very wide there goes Micah. You'd think he wouldn't be feeling the pressure after that touch with Sarchino sent him tumbling down, but he's now running wide out of the hairpin as well. Again, it's very easy to run wide here at Hockenheim. There's a rear traction is something that everyone quests for and not a lot of people can find. That's where you see Chris Kirtzov, though, looking fairly comfy. That's Sarchino, that's promoted him up to 8th as he just grinds across the sausage curve there a little bit on the run into the Mobile 1 curve. But manages to keep it going. He's got teammate Massimiliano Riboli behind him. Don't think we'll be seeing team orders too early, but Riboli looking very pacey early on in the race. He's been a fun move off the road. Goes Chris Kirtzov. What happened to the Valley eSport driver? He just went straight on going into the penultimate corner. He's managed to make his way onto the drag, make his way back on, but did he lock up or touch the grass? I didn't quite catch it, Jess, but he just went straight on.
Yeah, hopefully we can see the replay and see what happened there, but I think it was very unfortunate for Chris Kirtzov to do that, and we'll see what happens there. He just clipped the curb, and does he just about avoid the wall?
Oh,
he just
lucky.
about avoids the wall. there. He got away with it. That was very, very lucky from Chris, but his tyres are not going to be good. And I've just noticed something as well. The track temperature has gone down a bit for the drivers, so that means going around tricky corners like that in sector 2 is going to be harder on traction during certain parts of the final sector, but in some parts it's gone up, so that's probably why they're struggling a little bit as well. But I have to say, the closest battle we're seeing on track is Luchak and Ruben in P3 and 4. This is going to be getting very, very intense between these two drivers, for the final podium positions in Hockenheim. And consistency is key in the championship, because you don't necessarily need to be leading or winning a race in order to be leading a championship. Say that to Brandholm, for example. But obviously we could see Peter Knapp take it if he wins this race today. But this is getting very close. You can see Ruben's having a bit more lower wings in his car, because he's closing up quite rapidly onto the straight, and it's around about 6/10 detection point for the DRS. So I think he's just about missed the DRS detection point for this one. Yes, he has. So he's got to find a bit about 4/10 in order to get DRS next lap, but not quite this lap though.
Yeah, we'll have to go again. Again, the one DRS zone here at Hockenheim, here in FSR. That's coming down into the hairpins. We're on board with Raboli. Again, having a little look into the hairpin. Decided against making a move though, as a little bit of a touch it looked like between Bill and Mars from the background. I think they got away with it, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see if there was any problems there. But they look okay for the time being. Because we're on board with Van Leuven now. And off the road and spinning is Massimiliano Raboli in the background. Somehow
I don't think he got
didn't
damaged.
collect anybody, I don't think. Once again, a Valet eSports driver just clipping the grass ever so slightly. And for Valet eSports, the Italian squad, are just, they're not having the best of times today. I'm not entirely sure what's going on with the Valet drivers. Once again, another driver just clipping the grass. Here we can see, he was actually lost traction. Raboli just got a bit too greedy on the throttle, then clipped the grass and it spat him out. Almost lost it again. Trying to get back on back onto the racing line. Only a half spin. Luckily, he didn't do a full loop. That's a big shame for Raboli. And when we're talking about consistency just moments ago, Jess, as well, it's moments like that that late on in the season can make or break your championship, as Van der Hudding now tries to get through Greg Luchak up into P3. Does he get the traction out of the corner? Yes, he does. That is Ruben van der Hudding for the time being up into the podium places.
Yes, indeed, and Luchak almost got the switchback of Dreams heading towards the middle of turn 7 there, but you can see that Hudding is pulling away from him down the straight, but he's going to gain quite a bit heading into the corners of turns 11 and 12, coming up now in towards the last of the stadium sections. Every time we talk good about a driver, those are the ones who tend to spin, so hopefully for these two drivers, they're able to keep on the road, which they are at the moment. We are starting to see tyre degradation going to be quite high, especially at this early part of the race. Like you were saying earlier, 2-stop is predicted, so they're not going to be on those mediums for too long. And we're going to start to see the hard tyres coming through. So Lee Roonan and Cedric Bill as well, Marsa, those are going to be the ones to watch out for in the latter stages of this stint. But right now, Peter Knapp leading by quite a comfortable margin, 3 seconds, and he has not put a foot wrong in this race so far, and he's about to lap some drivers who are struggling in this race so far. What a shame for them, but Peter Knapp's just not put a foot wrong. He's been amazing.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it's going to unfold, but Peter Knapp right now is looking very, very strong up the front on lap 8 of 47. On board with Luca Thailand now, chasing down Van Leuven. The optimal eSports driver currently just staring at the gearbox of the car in front. Van Leuven is on the hard compounded tyres, so at this stage, we're probably at a bit of a crossover point. We're not too far into the stints just yet, so we're probably at a point where there's no real advantage on either tyre. That early advantage that the mediums will have is probably dropping away a little bit. And of course, the alternative strategy, it's always a viable option. Again, late in the race, it is a 2-stop that we're expecting it, but if you're going medium later in the race, when the car's lighter, because there's less fuel, you can push the mediums harder. But of course, you have to sacrifice that one being a bit slower at the start of the race. So again, the big mystery in the sky is the one of strategy. I'm certainly no strategist. I'm not smart enough for it, but these guys out there are going to try it anyway. Here's Thomas Luthi. What happened to the Dragon Sim Sport driver, currently in P23? Oh, just dropped it on the curb. That's unfortunate for Luthi. Again, very easily done. Just touch the Astro a little bit, and around it sends you. We've all been there before, my friend, and luckily it looks like didn't lose any positions or didn't drop too far back. Is that someone else off the road? Who's gone off the road there to the left-hand side? I believe that might be Luthi getting out of the way, actually. Indeed, it is Thomas Luthi just getting out of the way of some lapping cars. That's great to see him doing the responsible thing there and letting them through, even if a bit unorthodox going onto the grass there. On board, though, with Canzonieri, who's now in P3, following all the opening chaos. As we head through the Mobile 1 curve, we've got a real train of cars here forming. We've got Van der Hooding, Luchak, and Canzonieri in front of them. I believe that is Mcintyre. Yes, it is, who's going to let them through as well. So that's nice of him. Mcintyre currently a lap down in P24. And that lap car has actually just allowed Van der Hooding to just stretch away ever so slightly. Track temperature has massively dropped off in the last couple of laps. We've gone from 27 degrees. Oh, it's now just jumped back up to 27 degrees. Never mind, then looks like rFactor's playing tricks on us.
I said that earlier. I said that earlier. It was like 17 degrees at one point, and then it went back up to like 27. So clearly, I was like, the track temperatures were going down. That means it's going to be difficult for the drivers, but now it's gone back up again. It depends where you are on the track. So Canzonieri trying to go for a move on Luchak, heading towards turn number 6. Clips that apex nicely as well. But are we going to see a switch back from Luchak once again? Nope, he's not. He's going to stay behind as we head towards turn 7 and 8. And then we're heading towards the stadium section of Mercedes. Nicely done from the man in P4, and he's stretching those mediums very nicely indeed.
Yeah, great move there from Canzonieri up into P4. Further back, Thailand now all over the rear of Van Leuven. And surely, oh my goodness me. What a save, Luca Thailand. Take a bow. That Optimal eSports car seemed destined for the outside wall as he rode the sausage curb. Somehow managed to keep it in check and keep it in a straight line. Brilliant stuff there from Thailand. Of course, has cost him a little bit of time, but he's still in the race, and that is what matters. Now back on board with Giuseppe Sarchino, who's slowly carving his way through the field after his early stop due to that clash with Mike that cost him his front wing. Of course, we expected him to go on the hard tyre, go long on this second stint, and that's what he's doing. He's in front of him, Zanini. Panini jumps into the pits. So Davide clearly not liking that medium tyre too much at this stage. Let's go on board Zanini as he comes into the pits. Let's see what he does as Luthi in the pits as well, it would appear. And also, it appears to be something just in the pit lane there. I'm not entirely sure what that is. Oh, is that an Easter egg or something? We did get told in the pre-race briefing that apparently because it is Easter, there are several quote-unquote Easter eggs dotted around the track. That could be one of them. I'm not entirely. It looked like a octagon or something like that. I'm not entirely sure if that's an egg, but surely something like that. Oh, Sarachino's out!
He's out of the race. What happened there? So I wonder if the damage he sustained in the race got too much and he's going to lose a chunk of points. He's going to drop way down the championship. So what has happened to Sarachino?
We just saw him. He was fine moments ago. He had a spin coming out of turn 1.
Did he hit the wall going towards third?
No, it looks like he's just called it, yeah. So Sarachino had a spin coming out of turn 1. It looks like, obviously we jumped away from Sarachino to go on board with Zanini to watch his pit stop. He must have had a spin coming out of turn 1 and then just decided to call it a day. So for the second race in a row, it's a DNF for round 1 winner, Giuseppe Sarachino. Heartbreak for the Italian, heartbreak for the Go Team squad, and that is diabolical for his championship hopes as well. And his teammate Peter Napper's looking to wrap up his second win in a row. Sarachino makes it 2 DNFs on a bounce. What a massive shame. That's the 3rd driver that we've lost today as well. We've lost Luthi and Viscott. But Sarachino, man, oh man, he's just not been his day today, has it? A real big shame for the Italian driver. As we keep going around, oh man, you got to feel for him, don't you? We're on board with another Italian, Massimiliano Raboli, for the time being. But man, oh man, that's just such a shame for Sarachino. You can't help but feel for the man. You know, you go out and you do all this work. You know, you put hours and hours and hours into practice and setup and working with the team, and then it just comes undone like that. It's got to be a tough feeling, Jess.
Yeah, it always is. I think we both witnessed it as well as drivers when you put in the hours and then suddenly if you have an incident that's either out of your control or if you are the one controlling and hit a wall or something, then sometimes your mind just goes, what did I do wrong? He's probably going to revisit this and think, what could I have done differently as well? He's got to not let his mind dwell on it because we've still got a long season still to go. We still got obviously Marina Bay next time where he could possibly redeem himself there. I did say he was going to redeem himself today, but unfortunately he wasn't. But yeah, he can't give up after this race. There's still plenty of rounds to go.
Yeah, absolutely. Plenty of rounds to go. Still a long way to go in the championship, but still disappointing nonetheless. Let's follow Luchak round for a little bit as he's currently P5. We're probably not too far away from the opening pit stops for the front runners on the mediums. And Leuven, of course, on the hards can go a little bit longer, but Peter Knapp is, well, not far off from being a pit stop ahead of him. So we'll have to wait and see how the alternate strategy is going to unfold, but I wouldn't expect us to be going too much further for the front runners before they decide to dive into the pits for their second set of rubber. And as we follow around your race leader, Peter Knapp, who's currently 6.5 seconds to the good ahead of Micah in P2. Peter Knapp is looking imperious here at Hockenheim. And, I mean, just watch the onboard. Just watch the onboard of this. The car is so planted. The front end just goes where it needs to go. There's no issues on the rear of the car. Peter, of course, we know what he can do on a racetrack. As all out of shape there, gets Canzonieri in the exit of the hairpin. The Go team onboard just look, I mean, you'll see it on board with Luchak as well. The Go team onboard is just simply fantastic. So it is great to see from those, you know, the setup, the work that those guys have put in. It's really benefiting Go team here this weekend. The car just looks absolutely fantastic. Flying around Hockenheim areas, we've got some action. This is Zanini and Hollisteller. Wow, what a move from Davide Zanini to get through Hollisteller, who looks to be struggling on the hard compounded tyres. Again, Zanini was into the pits just a few laps ago. Also gets the DRS because he was behind Hollisteller at the activation point. And that just gives him the boost down the straights as well. Of course, just a reminder, DRS here at Hockenheim, the activation, you have to be 0.7 of a second behind the car in front of you. Activate it, not the standard second gap. And also, it's only down that, well, we say one straight, that one curvy straight, shall we say, the Parabolica, that big left-hander, which is a straight in all but name. You know, it is just a big left-hander, but it's flat out in a modern Formula car. That's where your DRS is here today. You'll see the DRS sign just there as well. That's the one DRS sign we've got to encourage drivers to overtake properly. As we come into the hairpin, and Marcia is going to hold his own for the time being, just going to hold position behind Cedric Bill and Luca Thailand. Thailand looks to be in a bit of a hard tyre sandwich there at the moment, the only medium runner between Van Leuven and Bill, but Van Leuven is a little bit ahead of him at the moment. Thailand was fighting Van Leuven earlier. Maybe the mediums have just dropped off a little bit, or maybe a mistake in there for Thailand. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But as here we see Luchak coming in. Does he dive into the pits? No, but Canzonieri does from P4. So Canzonieri for Team GG, the first of our front runners into the pit lane. Let's see what he's going to come out with, as that's Icon Faxon we see coming out behind. He's in P20 at the moment, and it is the hard compounded tyre for Canzonieri. So looks like
nice pit stop.
Yeah, lovely pit stop as well, it must be said. The first of our front runners to come in. If you get some clean air in front of him, this could be massive for the Team GG driver, and it looks like he is going to get some clean air as well with Luca. Or that's Kalman behind him, sorry. So some clean air there for Canzonieri. Great stuff for him on the fresh hard rubber. That surely means that we're not too far off from the likes of Peter Knapp and Micah coming in. Then what times do they go? Because you can go medium, medium, hard. You can go medium, hard, medium. Go medium, hard, hard if that's what you really want to do. Medium, hard, medium. It's all up in the air as Chris Gitsov comes in for the hard compounded tyres as well. Again, it is should be a flatline two-stopper here in the Academy race. So that's very, so there is the race leader. Peter Knapp comes into the pit lane on lap 16, shortly to be 17, as he will cross the line shortly. And we'll wait and see what tyres he comes onto as well. Can the virtual pit crew do a good job as we pass our Easter egg in the pit lane, as Micah is in as well, actually, and it's mediums for Knapp. Okay, so some split strategies here in Hockenheim. Greg Luchak is going to inherit the lead. Have to wait and see what tyres Mike is going to come out on, but it is the medium compound for the net race leader, Peter Knapp. So he'll be going hard in his final stint for a longer hard stint. Micah also out in the mediums. They'll be doing the same. Canzonieri then the only one to go onto the hards early on. He has gained a little bit of time. It's now only 4 seconds between himself and Micah, but there is Andrea Maharasoa in between the pair of them. But Andrea Maharasoa's got a poor exit out of turn 2. Of course, Canzonieri is going to get the run, and he'll get the DRS. He'll make easy work of the Go Team driver. And now he is positioned very, very sweetly just behind Micah. So the undercut apparently does work a little bit there. Canzonieri has gained on the man currently in P5. Of course, he'll be on the mediums in the final stint as well, we expect, while the other two will be in the hard compound tyres. This could play very nicely into his hand. Greg Luchak, we're expecting to see into the pits on this lap, so shouldn't be too far away from the pit stop. Of course, he could do another lap if he fancy. We'll have to wait and see. Peter Knapp, though, is already right behind him on the fresh mediums, and indeed, Luchak is going to come in, and Peter Knapp will go back into the race lead. We'll check what the Go Team guys are doing, if they're going to split their strategies. It is a possibility. Could see Luchak going onto the hards. Wouldn't be surprised, though, if it's onto the mediums. He did go a little bit longer on the opening stint. Lovely.
I think Thomas is still on the mediums, I believe, unless he's pitched already. But yeah, mediums again for the Go Team driver of Luchak. So it looks like all 3 of them are doing the same strategy.
Yeah, it looks like all 3 of them out there on the same strategy. Medium, medium, hard it will be. So Canzonieri, the lone outlier in that top 5 group. Master, I believe, is still yet to box from P3. Did start on the hard tyres, if memory serves me correctly. So he'll be, won't be out for too much longer, you wouldn't think. There is Cedric Bill going around the outside of Luca Thailand. Easy as you done. DRS to the outside of the parabolic. Move is done before we even hit the braking zone. We'll have to defend to the inside just a little bit, but gets the traction out of the corner, places the car nicely as we've a lot of lapping going on at the moment. You can see blue flags flashing everywhere on the digital flag display boards. But Cedric Bill now up into P8. Nice stuff there from him. Luca Thailand, can he respond? We'll have to wait and see. Here is Nando Massa. Got to come into the pits, we're not entirely sure. Yes, they will. So Massa comes in. That means Canzonieri is now in P3. Great strategy from them. We'll wait and see what tyres Massa goes on again. Starting in the hard, can go mediums now, can go mediums a bit later on. Wait and see. Going past our wonderful Easter egg there. And stopping, changing rubber. Looks like it's going to be mediums for Massa. So a bit of a shorter middle stint on lap 19 of 47. So the first stint's done now, Jess. We're now at that phase of the race where it's all about settling in, finding your rhythm, and basically getting to the end of this stint, and then it's all out attack in the final stint. Canzonieri, though, I think could be very, very interesting. Going for hard tyres, Van der Hooding as well in P4. Those guys in the final stint could be very, very dangerous. They've got the pace, and they can keep on the back of the likes of Knapp and Micah. We'll have to wait and see, but I think the medium, hard, medium strategy for me looks very, very tasty.
That's what I would have gone for if I was racing it today, because obviously you'll be on lower fuel towards the end of the race, so you want to be on the softest tyre possible that is durable in the race, so mediums will be the best. So I was hoping that someone like Peter Knapp and Luchak will try out that different strategy when they're doing 2 mediums at the start. But if they're not able to stretch that gap even more to the ones around them, that will make them being on the mediums now a bit meaningless. But yes, watch out for the hard runners towards the end of the race, because they can catch up and take advantage on the tyre delta that they have and the tyre difference that they have compared to the likes of Peter Knapp. So Canzonieri will be the one I'm watching out for the rest of the race, because he nailed that strategy perfectly. He's already closing in on certain drivers already. So I think I just saw someone else coming out of the pit, which was a lap down, I believe. So seeing more people near the back of the grid going on to different strategies as well. I mean, I'm intrigued as to why, obviously, Green hasn't boxed yet. He's on hard tyres, so he's going to be our guinea pig, as it were, to see how long those hards can go on for. And it is predicted, obviously, two-stop strategy, but we're running on board with Thailand as he makes his way towards turn number 6. He doesn't go for the move this time around, but he's well on the gearbox of Cedric Bill. These two have been fighting across the whole of this season so far. We'll see what they can do here as they keep it clean towards turn number 7.
Yeah, looking very clean at the moment, but good racing nonetheless. A very tight battle there. And another tight battle here is Gitsov looking at Zanini, who's been slowly carving his way through the field. Zanini is a very, very strong driver. But, yeah, just been a bit quieter than normal today. Normally, he is very much the centre of attention. As David, you know, really likes to show what he can do. But today, he's just been quiet, running his own race, but he is slowly climbing up the pack. Luca Thailand, similar. A lot of drivers, you know, just kind of doing their own thing at the moment, which is what you'd expect for this portion of the race, it must be said. Just, you know, going out there, just running your laps, hitting your marks, and just make sure you look after the tyres when you come to the end of this stint. But, yeah, everyone's just kind of doing their own thing for the time being. On lap 21 of 47 here in Hockenheim for the Formula SimRacing Academy Championship, the third round of the championship here. Again, this track was chosen by public vote. Of course, it's all the same track in Pro and World Championship Series as well, which, of course, are coming later on. So don't go anywhere. A full afternoon of racing to look forward to on this fabulous Easter Sunday. And it's sure to be fantastic. But yeah, as I said, it was up to public votes. There was a few tracks you could choose from. It was between Baku, Montreal, and Hockenheim. And the drivers voted for Hockenheim is looking to the outside there. It goes Gitsov on Zanini with the DRS down on the brakes into the hairpin. Nice and simple. And actually, Zanini runs a little bit wide there, potentially under pressure from Kaunan. Another driver who has been relatively quiet in this race, but has been moving forward, which is great to see for them. So just making their way up through the pack again. We're not quite halfway through this race, not far off it though. So plenty of time, full moves to be made, plenty of time for action as well as we go on board with Kaunan on the run into the Mobile 1 curve. Really, really tricky through there, especially if you're following another car. The dirty air can really send you wide when there's no runoff. It's just a great corner, almost flat out. You know, you downshift a couple, throw the front end in and hope it sticks. It was like, oh, who's that diving into the pits? That's a big moment there for Kaunan. Was that? I believe that was Andrea Morisoa that just came in there. Or was it maybe someone else that's come in? Oh, it was Vicentievich who was the lap down. So they were just involved in that battle, decided to get out of the way by diving into the pits. Just couldn't quite tell who it was jumping in from that angle. Back up to the fight for third, though. Canzonieri leading Van der Hooding for the time being, the two hard-shod runners in our lead group of 5. Doing a good job at the moment is the pair of them. Peter Knapp, though, is running away at the front at the moment. Yeah, he's doing a fantastic job as the go-team driver. But Canzonieri and Van der Hooding currently fighting for the final podium place, the Valet eSports driver. Just getting a little bit out of shape as he comes through the penultimate corner, but manages to hold it all fine. Again, a bit of the Italian flair there, just showing the German fans what they can do as they come down. Van der Hooding should get the DRS if he's good out of this corner here, turn 2. We're waiting to see if he is going to get it. Looks like he will get it, so Van der Hooding will have the DRS coming through the Parabolica. Is he close enough, though? It is anybody's guess. The flap on the rear wing opens for Ruben Van der Hooding. Is he close enough as Canzonieri goes defensive? No, he is not close enough. We'll have to go again a lap later. Canzonieri, though, doing a good job, just putting the car exactly where it needs to be put. And, you know, not defending too hard. Very smart like that is Canzonieri. He knows exactly when he needs to go all out the fence and exactly when he just needs to put his car in a slightly different position. As here we see Terry Crawford. What's happened here is Crawford tried to come into the pits. Oh, no, Terry Crawford. Oh,
and his engine's gone.
There's doing a David Coulthard, and then there's hitting the pit wall so hard the car explodes. That is a real shame, and probably
that's him out.
Yeah, that's properly out of the race. Yeah, a real shame there, and probably a very, very red face for Terry Crawford as well. It is a tricky pit entry. But yeah, a shame for him. A simple mistake. You see it done before, you know, on a global stage, and it's always embarrassing when it happens. Real shame for Terry Crawford, down and out of this race. Then there were 21. He joins the likes of Giuseppe Sarchino, Biscott, and Luti. Those four are retirements from the race so far.
We weren't expecting more, of course, but we are getting some more moves being made. Is Van der Hooding trying to go for a move in past Sanieri for P3? So battle for the podium spaces is continuing so far, but I think this is quite technical. So this is what Van der Hooding is probably famous for, trying to pull the way down this curve in towards turns 10 and 11. Nicely done from him so far there as well. But don't forget, those two drivers are on the hard compounded tyres, stretching it for quite a bit of time before they need to go on to the set of the medium compounded tyres to the end. You never know. We did see people go on the medium for a bit longer in the first stint. They could pit on mediums around about lap 35, 36 potentially. So we'll see what they can do. But they're leading in very close with each other as well. So I wonder if they're going to slipstream each other along. But the reason why they're not as close as we would have thought, the dirty egg can play a massive factor around here. If you're too close, that is where you're going to lose a lot of time. We've got Thailand chasing down Cedric Bill for P7, who's around about 8 tenths is the gap. Well, 6 tenths is the gap now, so he's going to gain the DRS. He's gaining a bit of straight line speed through the middle of turn 2, heading towards the braking zone of turn 3. And could we see Canzoneri go for a movement towards turn 6? He's going to dive up the inside, but Hooding is going to try and get the cut back in towards the middle of turn 6. Hooding, great defence there, and he keeps that podium position for now. We'll see what Thailand can do on Bill, but he was a little bit more comfortable there. There was a little bit of a lock tap between the two drivers, but Thailand managed to get past Bill and up to 7th.
Yeah, great move there from Luca Thailand up into P7 and through Cedric Bill as well on lap 25 of 47. Now over halfway through this race here at the Hockenheim Ring, of course, nestled in the heartlands of Germany, and Thailand having a great race so far at the moment. Hockenheim, of course, no, it is a classic circuit here. It's been through many iterations. Of course, the old blast through the forest, non-existent nowadays. Now we have this wonderfully tricky and complex circuit that's still so fast and lives up to the name and the honor of the original track, which, of course, if you're heading that way, you go straight on down here instead of braking for turn 2. But if you tried to do that in this race, you'd smash headfirst into a wall and probably give yourself a bit of a concussion. So try not to do that. Now, coming down through the Parabolica, again, this corner nowadays in a modern top-line Formula car, not really that tricky. That's why the DRS zone is through there. It's just kind of a flick of the wheel to the left and hold it there. Of course, in a slower racing cars, maybe with not so much aerodynamic grip, maybe you are a bit more on edge, trying to balance the line between speed and grip. But in these FSR Academy cars, it's just, yeah, flat out turning. You're good as that is a big dive bomb from Nando Master on Cedric Bill, who's lost another position and has not had the best 2 laps as Bill. Master with a great move there, a bit of a lock up there. Again, on the medium rubber, he's going to have the pace in this middle stint at the moment. But yeah, great move there. Super late on the brakes, but super committed down into the hairpin. So lovely stuff there. So we'll have to see how it's all going to unfold. Track temperature is currently 27 degrees. For some reason, the game overlay is not being our friend today. It's been funny all day. You can see it's just dropped to 24 degrees something. We have just had that confirmed. It is being consistently at 27 degrees for the most part in this race. Of course, you get a bit of fluctuation of 0.1, 0.2 of a degree here and there, but it's still a pretty chilly track temperature, it must be said. Again, only 10 degrees outside. It's not the warmest time in Germany at the moment, and trying to get to temperature in your tyres probably not the easiest thing in the world, but the driver's doing a good enough job of it at the moment. Here we see Kaunan following Zanini, running a little bit wide as he comes through the penultimate corner and into the Sud curve. That didn't go quite to plan through there. The line was just a little bit shaky for Kaunan as he came through. As there we see, that's Bill and Marcel once again down into the hairpin. I think Cedric Bill may have had a little bit of a look, just wasn't quite close enough to the ground effect car in front of him. And now into the Mercedes arena. I mean, obviously every track in Germany has a Mercedes arena because You know, it's Mercedes. They sponsor every racetrack in Germany, but this is the one at Hockenheim. Very, very tricky through there. Of course, you've got that very fast right-hand kink, and it's hard on the brakes for a radius of over 100 degrees to the left. And now as we head through the Sachs curve, of course, probably the most famous corner on that circuit, that banked hairpin in the stadium section. Very, very easy to get it wrong through there and find yourself in the outside wall. We've seen it before. We'll definitely see it again in the future. Marcel, though, for the time in it, holds on to P8 as he comes through the opening turn and on the run down into the heavy braking zone at turn 2. There we see Cownan. He's really, really closing in on Zanini. Really looking for a way through. He made a mistake coming through the final section last time and he was this close. If he can hold it this time, that line looks a lot better for Cownan as Zanini actually dives into the pits. So Zanini comes in. That's a very, very early stop there for Davide Zanini. Maybe he's got a bit of an issue. We'll have to wait and see what's going on. But as he comes in, I'm predicting another set of the hard compounder tyres. I assume so. And my assumption is correct. It's another set of the hard compound for Davide Zanini. He'll head back out. Looks like he'll be roughly in 16th place. Also goes a lap down in the process. The Team GG driver, a lot of ground to make up for the Italian in front of him here, Jess.
Yeah, I think it was a bit earlier than I would expect. So maybe he's struggling with the track temperatures, as you were saying, fluctuating quite a bit. So maybe he wants to go on the hard until the end of the race. But with that stint he just did, I'm just trying to look at the time and see how long he was on it. He was on it for 16 laps. We have about 17 or 18 laps to go until the end of this Grand Prix finishes. I think he's going to struggle in the last couple of laps to really get some life into those tyres. So I won't be surprised if he possibly makes another stop, if he struggles a little bit. But if he does get some clear air, that is where he can start pushing now and then start to save the tyre wear as he gets to the end of the race. Marcel looking good though on a set of the medium compounder tyres, opting for a different strategy. It's not opting to go for the move just yet though. Again, he's just saving a bit of tyre life, ready for the latter stages of this race. But it's looking like that the hard's being more durable for some drivers, but Marcel's doing a decent job on those mediums and keeping up with those hard runners. So yeah, they have a bit more life than we once thought. I'm just trying to remember when Marcel actually came into the pit lane. He came to the pit lane 10 laps ago, so on lap 20, and he did 18 laps on those hard, 16 laps on those hard tyres earlier on. So I would expect if he wants to do another medium stint, he would probably come in around 6-7 laps time and then get those tyres to the end of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess we'll have to wait and see what's going to unfold here over the remaining 17 or so laps. Lap 30 of 47 here in the Hockenheim ring. Marcel currently holding on to that P8 as we continue to follow them around. The ground effect driver doing a very good job at the moment, running a bit deep though into turn 2 there. Almost looked like he wasn't going to stop for just a briefest of moments. Up ahead though, Luca Thailand, he's been fantastic today, hasn't Thailand? He's just been doing a monster defensive efforts, but unfortunately there's only so much you can do against the DRS as Marcel slides on through. But Thailand's still going to try to the outside. Does he try the switchback and get the traction out of the corner? Yes, he does, and he's still going to maintain P7. Luca Thailand has been brilliant today out here in the Hockenheim ring. And he still maintains that P7 on the hard compounder tyres ahead of the medium shot Nando Marcel. Brilliant stuff there from the Optimal eSports driver, who's doing a fantastic job. Also, good to note his teammate Ockenhout had a very quietly excellent race. I don't think we've barely spoken about him today. He's managed to slide his way up to P11. Great from him. And just slowly bringing himself forward. That is fantastic, fantastic stuff. The Thailand holds on to P7 for another lap for the time being. Marcel, a little bit of a wobble coming out of the Sud curve as they start their next tour of this fine German circuit. As it stands up the front, Peter Knapp almost 18 seconds ahead of Micah and P2. He is very, very comfy up the front. But in this battle, which we are focusing on at the moment, Marcel will get the DRS once again. Will he get the run down into the hairpin once again? Will he make it stick once again? We'll be finding out very, very shortly. Look at the power of the drag reduction system. Thailand goes defensive. Marsa to the inside. Marsa now, very smart racing from Marsa. Just leaves Thailand out to dry a little bit. Now as they're on the run into the Mercedes corner. Can Thailand find another way through? No, I think for the time being, Jess, it's going to be Nando Marsa up into P7. Great stuff there from the ground effect driver.
The ground effect driver seems to get the car dialed on at these latter stages. Obviously, he went past Cedric Bill and Thailand, and now he's trying to close in on some other cars, potentially as well. He's got like 4 seconds between himself and the driver in P6. So he's been looking good. He's been patient. He doesn't necessarily need to go for moves early on in the race. At his middle half, this is where he's definitely shining. So good job to him, and it does depend on where you are in the championship, but he'll be happy with where he is at the moment. P7, they get around 9 points, which if I was racing in that car, I would potentially be very happy with that. And he's got a bit of pressure behind him. It's about how he deals with the pressure is going to be very important, but we've got the likes of Van der Hudding and Cantoneri fighting for P3 and 4. I did see Cantoneri was within DRS of Hudding, but he wasn't able to get passing towards turn 6 just yet. So P3 and P4 stay as they are for now. But will Thailand get past Marsa? Almost a bit of a mistake there from Marsa, but both of the cars managing to hold together as they head towards turn 7. I think we could see a move from Thailand towards Mercedes, which is a very tricky part of the track. Is he going to go for it? Is he going to go for the switchback? No, he doesn't go for the switchback, and it's now going towards the final set. And now where you're really going to be putting the hammer down, this is where you really need the high downforce on these cars, and we'll see what Thailand can do. So even though Marsa did make the move, Thailand is putting a lot of pressure on him, as we're seeing the first of the front runners go into the pits for their final stop. And what is Micah going to do? He's going to go on to the medium tyres, so that is him to the end of the race.
Yeah, that will be to the end of the race for Micah on the medium. It says the softs on the... is it say? I'm not entirely sure that's right. I'm seeing very surprised.
Yeah, I'm seeing mediums on the car, so I assume it's mediums, but...
It might just, well, we'll find out in the moment. Either the live timing is going to correct itself, or those yellow walled rubber are going to suddenly change to red in a moment. I guess we'll have to find out, but
it's
we're going to
soft
assume.
on the live timings on race view. So
yeah, it is saying soft on the live timings. It's clearly mediums on the car at the moment. I would be very, very, very surprised if he's trying to run softs to the end of this race. We're going to presume it's mediums. Oh, Master and Thailand still banging wheels all this time later. This time Thailand's going to go through. These guys are having a titanic tussle at the Hockenheim ring. Through goes Thailand. As on the air, Peter Knapp does come, but he's gone softs as well. So maybe Micah is on the softs then. Maybe they can go softs to the end. We didn't think they could run softs to the end. These guys clearly are thinking something else. So Knapp comes in. He should
it was
still
going to be medium hard. Medium, no, when we were doing our pre-work before the start of the race, we didn't say softs at all. We were suggesting medium hard medium, or medium hard, or hard medium, but not soft. I'm liking this gamble from Peter Knapp. He's got that gap anyway. Marsa's come in as well. He's coming in to, I think, avoid the traffic. Thailand stays out, so is Cedric Bill. So we'll watch him. It's got to be a tidy pit stop, otherwise he's going to lose a lot of time. So we'll see what the live timings say. What's it going to be? It is, I believe it's a soft tyres, unless there's mediums on the car. It is medium, so he's not doing the gamble like we saw in Knapp and Micah do. Yeah,
I mean, as you said, Jess, we didn't even consider the soft tyres when we were discussing what the strategy might be before the race. We knew it was going to be a two-stopper. We just thought it was going to be, medium, hard, medium, something along those lines. The likes of what Nando Marsa's gone for, but Micah and Knapp clearly feel they can take the softs to the end. Clearly feel it's worth the running. I'm really surprised that Peter Knapp's gone for it, sitting very, very pretty in the lead of the race. He was over a pit stop ahead of Van der Hudding. I would have gone mediums personally, but again, I'm not driving. Maybe he just wants to have a whack around, try and get the fastest lap or something along those lines, as Luchak comes into the pits as well. So we are seeing the stops for the final stint now. And, does Luchak go into the softs as well? First stop, the Go Team guys did go on the same strategy. If Luchak did stop a few laps later, no, he's going soft as well. Very, very interesting. I mean, I mean, yeah, I'm not a strategist, you know, whatever works if these guys think it can work, but I'm just very, very surprised that they think they can run the softs to the end of the race, especially when, you know, the likes of Peter Napper sitting so comfortably in P1. Van der Hooding also came in and also went onto the soft compound that lap. But yeah, likes Peter Napper, I would have gone onto the medium and just, you know, played it very, very safe and run to the end, but clearly felt like they have to go on the softs. And here is Mcintyre, who's been promoted to P2 amongst all of the pit stops. Again, he went hard tyre for his second stint, and now he's managed to get himself up into second for the time being. Again, he is still yet to stop unless he tries and wrangles those tyres to the end, which I find very, very unlikely, given we've still got over 10 laps to go. And on that note, he comes into the pits, so Mcintyre on the hards, I would presume he'll be going softs because he's the last of our front runners to pit. So I'll be presuming that it will be Giuseppe Mcintyre onto a set of the soft compound. Indeed it is. The Team GG driver sticks on the red sidewall and gets going once again. Should come out behind Van der Hooding and potentially behind Thailand. Thailand has come in as well though. So should be in front of Greg Luchak. There he is. So Mcintyre into P5. Has the freshest rubber out of all of the front runners besides Van Leuven. Marsa in P8. One to watch out for as well on that medium compound tyre. Mcintyre onto the softs. Van Leuven yet to pit from the hard compound on his second stint. So it looks like it's going to be soft to the end, which is a big surprise. I mean, again, Jess, we didn't think that was going to happen, but here we are now. Top guys are all on softs.
It's about that unpredictability that we're seeing, and we're going to see if that works out. Oh, that was very close from Luchak trying to get past Mcintyre as well. They don't want to be pushing too much early on, but it's about getting those life in those tyres. So maybe one lap you'll be pushing, the next lap you'll be conserving, the next lap you'll be pushing. It's about getting that balance with these cars as well, because if you push throughout the entirety of your stint, those tyres are definitely not gonna make it. So it's all about, after your first out lap, really trying to get the best of those soft compound tyres. It's gonna be harder for the likes of Luchak and Mcintyre because he's got Van der Hooding, which is way ahead of these guys now, but Luchak would have preferred Mcintyre to be on the medium, so he would have easily passed. That's probably why Mcintyre went on those softs, because everyone else around him is on the medium tyres, and we're starting to see the ones on the medium struggle, but the one that they'll probably come into their own towards the end of the race, as we're seeing last of the pit stops coming at Liunen. Oh, I can't pronounce the name to save my life, sorry about that. He's just come in as well, so everyone has made at least 2 stops in this race. Some people in the back have done 1 stop, but most people have done 1. Oh no, I think it might have just been DRS, but we are seeing a move from the likes of Luchak as he's passed Mcintyre. He had to go for the move sooner rather than later. He got plenty of life on his tyres, but look, Mcintyre, is he going to go for it again? Nope, he's not. So Luchak did what he needed to do, and he's in 4th, but it could have been 3rd, but the undercut was just so powerful for the other drivers.
It was indeed the undercut working magic, it would appear. Yeah, I mean, up the front, we've got less than 10 laps to go now. Peter Napper's got 21 seconds back to Micah. He has been formidable today, and all he has to do really now is hit his marks, bring it home, and that is a well-deserved second win on the trot. Yeah, Peter Napp. I mean, again, I was talking about the onboard earlier. You just look at the way that he drives the car, and it's just so delightful to watch. It just really is such an amazing view. We've got 20 cars left in this race. Of course, unfortunately, we did lose Icon, Faxon, Crawford, Sarchino, Visco, and Luti. The man at the front of that 20 is Peter Napp. Got a replay. Something coming up here. Oh, that's Marsa. Oh, Marsa missed the pit lane.
There was Marsa meant to be coming in, and he didn't.
Yeah, so Marsa missing the pit lane. That is a big disaster for him, Fernando Marsa. Oh, wow, what a shame. That pit lane's been causing havoc for a lot of people today. So Fernando Marsa, that beastly stint on the mediums, unfortunately coming undone just like that. And now maybe he's looking at dropping outside the top 10. That is a real shame for him, though. Top 5 all on softs. Van Leuven on mediums and 6th Islands on softs. Bills on mediums. Raboli on softs. Marsa on mediums. Your top 10. So Mcintyre comes round, he is the closest out of anyone in the top 5 to making up places. Luchak in P4 is just over a second in front, not too far away from DRS range. Have to wait and see what Mcintyre can do for Team GG as they head down through turn 2. If he gets really good on the brakes and is really good on the exit as well, he could maybe get the DRS. I don't think he will though. And no, he is not going to be getting the DRS this time around. He's going to have to just settle for the slipstream and some good vibes. There's a Marsa on the mediums in P10. A great race, almost undone immediately by that little mistake coming into the pit lane. Just overshot himself and slid back across the grass. That is a real shame. Lap 49 of 39 even, should I say, of 47 here in the FSR Academy Series. Round 3 of the 2024 season here at the Hockenheimring. Of course, when this race is over, still got plenty more Formula Sim Racing action to come your way. We've got the Pro Series coming up shortly after this one reaches its conclusion. And then, of course, the World Championship, the big boys. They are coming up a little bit later on. So we'll have to wait and see how that's all going to unfold for those races. So make sure you stick around. Don't go anywhere for all of those ones. Of course, the World Championship. Some of the best sim racers on the planet going toe to toe. Right now we're watching the 3rd tier of the Formula Sim Racing Series, the Academy Championship. Right now, Peter Knapp is looking like he's going to come in and, well, fly to the top of the standings. Of course, wasn't in the first race, won last time out in Australia, and is set to take another dominant victory here in Germany as well, especially when race 1 winner Giuseppe Sarchino, 2 DNFs in a row, and the likes of Lucas Thailand and Daniel Brandholm isn't here, and Lucas Thailand, who's currently P2 in the championship heading into this race, currently languishing down in P7. Well, consistency is key when you've won 2 races on a trot. Well, that does come into play, doesn't it? As we're following Cowden round now, who's had a great race so far. There was someone diving into the pits there in the background. Was that Zanini? Yes, it was. So Zanini comes in from the hard compounded tyre. He'll be going soft to the end, surely. And indeed, he is. Zanini pulls in, puts on the soft compounded rubber, and he'll head back out for just a few banzai fast laps to see what he can do. But yeah, let's talk about Peter Knapp, Jess. I mean, you know, he's got 20.5 seconds to the good ahead of Micah in second. The guy's just been formidable today. No mistakes. Outrageous pace. He has been fantastic.
To be honest, he can save his tyres a bit more now as well. He can weave across the line for all we know on the final lap, but he wants to make sure he gets consistent laps lap after lap, because if you take your foot off the pedal for even one moment, that's where you start to lose your concentration a little bit and everyone else will start to shine. But even though Nat is dominating, we still got some battles in the midfield as Mcintyre and Luchak fighting once again as he's had a bit of a slide on the exit of turn 6. Mcintyre took advantage of Luchak's mistake there. Maybe those soft tyres are struggling towards the end of this Grand Prix as the sun getting a bit difficult for these drivers as we head towards the final sector, but they're almost past their sell-by date, these soft compounded tyres. I'm not surprised if we see some drivers just losing it out of corners such as turn 6.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, tyres still very much a factor even at the end of the race, and even after a lot of people coming in for pit stops, some people just still struggling on the rubber here at the Hockenheimring. As we go into lap 42 following round Luchak, the Go Team driver, having a good run. Doing a very, very acceptable job, it must be said. Currently P5, of course, his teammate Peter Knapp up in P1 as it stands. Other teammate Andrea Maharasoa down at P13. Unfortunately, we lost his fourth teammate Sarchino early on. Again, a strong race until that DNF. We've got a replay here. Let's just see what we are getting a look at. Here is Luchak getting overtaken down into the hairpin by Mcintyre. Lovely, lovely move. Luchak almost stopped actually coming into the corner. Both of them got a big kick of oversteer on the exit of the hairpin. Luchak tried to have a look down into the Mercedes arena, but couldn't do anything, and now having to settle for 5th place as it stands. As they continue to fly around, Riboli currently P9, having a great race, is the Italian. Massimiliano doing a great job for Valley eSports. You know, always turn up and always deliver in FSR Academy. They are a very, very strong team. They always field a healthy number of cars and always try and come out swinging, which is what we've seen today from Riboli, currently P9. Teammate Van der Hooding on the podium as it stands. Let's see if he can hold on to that as the laps tick down towards the checkered flag for Valley eSports. They'll be very, very happy with their showing here today. Riboli, if my memory serves me correctly, always runs quite well at Singapore as well, which is the next race. Yeah, coming up next time is the Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore. That'll be coming up for you in a few weeks' time on April 14th. And yeah, Riboli and Valley eSports, they always run very, very well there. Do team and driver combination, so it should be interesting to see how they do there. After that, of course, we've got the British Grand Prix over in Silverstone. Then we're off to San Marino. Well, not quite San Marino, off to Imola. Then off to the Istanbul Park Circuit in Turkey. Then Spa-Francorchamps. Then the Circuit of the Americas. And then Suzuka, Japan, to end out the season on the 4th of August. Which on obviously a very oddly early end to the season, but with only 10 rounds here in FSR. It's a short and sharp championship is FSR. But yeah, Suzuka is always a track that provides. In fact, it's great. It's a great lineup for tracks this year. Very much looking forward to the rest of the season. But it's been a great race here as well so far. Almost 3 races down. Peter Knapp looking to storm his way to the head of the championship. Andrama Hirisara doing a great job, who are following around at the moment for Go Team, not too far off of Chris Gitzov, the last of our unlapped drivers, and that actually is Peter Knapp in the background getting ready to lap him, so won't be too far off of being lapped there. As there is Luchak trying to go on the move. Actually, no, he's trying to get through. No, has he got through? I'm very confused. He hasn't got through, but he's got... Oh, no, he has got through. It's Antoni behind him. Do apologise there. Two very, you know, obviously the two GG cars, Canzonieri and Zanini, same livery. Got very confused, thought he'd gone through. But no, it is a lapped driver, Davide Zanini, the Panini, behind him in P16. So Luchak look like he might have to settle for P5, unfortunately, as we go on to lap 45. It has been a great race, though, here, Jess. As the laps counting down, has anyone stand out to you as driver of the day? I mean, apart from the obvious guy who's in the lead and has just dominated. We've had a few good performances. I'll ask you, who's your driver of the day?
Well, obviously, apart from that, who has been dominating, I have to say Micah making some really good moves. Canzonieri as well, having a nice battle with Luchak. There's just been so many good drivers, but Van der Hooding stands out quite a lot because he got 8th place in round 1, did not finish in round 2, and he's come back fighting to potentially get his best result in FSR this season and to climb his way up the championship. So what a turn up in the history books for him, and Luchak as well. He's going to get his best result of 5th. So even though he would have wanted that podium, I think he would take P5 with a heartbeat as well. And Micah, Mr. Consistent he is, he's going to get another P2, and he's like always a bridesmaid, never the bride. He will be a second P2 in a row, but only time will tell whether he's going to get his first win of the season. I think he will, but it's going to take a while for him, I think. But we are about to start. Well, we just started the penultimate lap of this race.
Yeah, not too far to go now for Peter Knapp. Just a handful of turns. You know, only looking at what that's 32 corners left to go. Something along the lines of 9 kilometers left until the checkered flag for the race leader. But Malka's been very, very strong. It must be sending Peter. Of course, let us know who your driver of the day is at home if you're watching along. And make sure you let us know. You know, you can tweet us. You can let us know in the Discord if you're not in the Discord, or on the forums if you fancy getting involved in the FSR community. If you're not familiar around here, if you're new and you fancy giving it a go, then make sure you head over to the FSR website. You can find the forum and how to get involved there. Just seeing as well that the FSR official account has also just put a poll up as well in the in the YouTube
Just
chat.
seen it.
Yeah, who will win the race? Is it going to be Peter Knapp or is it going to be Peter Knapp? And it's one more lap for Peter Knapp. He starts his final tour of the circuit. The white flag, if you're an American, is very and truly waving. Of course, it's a bit different in other World Motorsports. White flag in FSR actually means there's a slow-moving vehicle on the circuit. But you know, one more tour of the Hockenheimring. It's been a dominant performance. And he is set to make it 2 on the balance. Of course, he's still going to make it around this lap. But, you know, at this point, it's very much a coronation of the race winner rather than a battle coming into the end of this race. Peter Knapp has been absolutely ferocious out there today. And, well, it has just been phenomenal stuff from the Slovenian driver. As he comes through the Mercedes arena for the last time. He's looked so smooth. So calm and collected. The Slovakian doing a fantastic job out there. And as he heads through the Sachs curves for the tunnel time, only a few more corners on board. Slovakian Serpent looking to make it 2 wins on the trot as he rounds the Sud curve for the final time. 2 from 2 for Peter Knapp. He wins at the Hockenheimring. A fantastic performance. Lapped all the way up to 12th as well. Peter Knapp takes a dominant victory here at Hockenheim with 20 seconds to the next driver in Micah, who round the final corner now to take a well-deserved 2nd place. But it is all about Peter Knapp today, who has been on top of the world here at Hockenheim. Van der Hooding rounds out our podium with another very respectable drive from him. But it is all about Peter Knapp today. Canzonieri takes home P4. Greg Luchak will be just behind him for P5 for Go Team. A great result from him. There is Van Leuven. Luke Thielen won't be far behind him as well for 6th and 7th. But man, oh man, Peter Knapp has been absolutely fantastic today. A well-deserved victory. He makes it 2 race wins out of 2 starts in 3 races. 2 on the bounce. The championship lead as well. That is a statement of intent and a formation finish as well as he gets Greg Luchak alongside him as they head down here back straight away. But man, oh man, what a performance that was from Peter Knapp to take a dominant victory. Matthijs Micah in P2. Ruben van der Hooding rounds out our podium with Canzonieri in P4. Greg Luchak in P5. Sander van Leuven was P6. Lucas Thielen in 7th. Cedric Pill in 8th. Massimiliano Riboli was 9th. And Nando Marso, after that unfortunate mistake earlier, he rounds out our top 10. Magnus Ockenhaug was in 11th with Chris Gitsov in P12. Thomas Andrea Miharasoa in 13th with Hayden Cownan in 14th. Andres Borotowski 15th. Davide Zanini was 16th. Perjas Brown 17th. Mikhail de la Cruz 18th. Arka Hollister was 19th. And Vicentievich in P12. Unfortunately, we lost all the remaining 5 drivers that entered this race. Icon Faxon, Terry Crawford, Sarchino, Discott and Lutty. Unfortunately, we did all lose across the course of this race. A big shame there for those guys. It's still Peter Knapp with a dominant performance. We've had a great race here today, Jess. What an enjoyable one. And yeah, really laying down the gauntlet there, Peter Knapp, as we head to Singapore next time.
Singapore, well, these guys have got to be on their A game because it's one of the longest tracks in terms of endurance. They're going to be navigating really difficult corners as well, and you know they've got to be on it from the get-go. Some drivers will be practicing pretty much this week. It's going to be on the 14th of April as well. I like racing around this circuit. It flows well. A mixture of on and off camber corners as well. You've got the famous old Singapore sling as well. The final sector I think is changed quite a bit in real life, of course, which I absolutely love. But for certain drivers, I think likes with Peter Knapp are going to do well potentially here as well. We haven't seen what certain drivers can do around here because we haven't been there for a while. But yeah, it is going to be a good track in 2 weeks' time. But they've got to be prepared for a long one, let's just say that.
They do indeed. Well, thank you very much for joining us here for round 3 of the FSR Academy Championship. A very enjoyable race here at the Hockenheimring, and Peter Knapp goes on to dominate. Jessica, thank you. It's been a real pleasure having you alongside myself. And of course, as Jess just said, in a few weeks' time, we'll be heading off to the Marina Bay Street Circuit in Singapore. And that is always a classic race in sim racing. So we hope to see you there. Make sure you stick around, though, because coming up shortly, we've got the Pro Series race and the FSR World Championship. Of course, both of them still at Hockenheim. It's all to play for this afternoon. We'll see you in a bit.
Hello, I'm Jack Nichols, and welcome to
Who's going to break his 6th world title?
But my Gosby! Oh, he's done it! And
Look at these two go.
he's going to do it! His first victory!
The World Championship is done. What a race it's been.